I had a question coming out of the Doctor Who episode, The Story in the Engine, and that question was, how does the 15th Doctor remember the story about Anansi's daughter when apparently it happened to the Fugitive Doctor? So in this video, I want to explore how much of that period of his life the Doctor actually remembers. I've been rewatching episodes from the 13th Doctor's era, and I've got some thoughts. Hello, welcome to Culture Filter. I am the Fill-In Filter, and this is where I talk about all the geeky pop culture that I like and consume, including a lot of Doctor Who. So if you like Doctor Who reviews and timeline videos and lore videos and all of that sort of stuff, then do hit subscribe down below for more. And we're talking lore today. We're talking a question about what does the Doctor remember about their time pre-Hartnell, maybe, wherever the Fugitive Doctor fits in, all that memory that was taken from them. So I delved back into the Whittaker era to try and find out exactly, at various mentions, has the Doctor remembered anything from that era at any point, and what caused them to remember that, and does any of that help us explain why the Doctor here seems to recognise Abby, and then starts to remember, or at least remembers slightly, the story of him winning Abby, being engaged to her, and being given her to be married, whatever the story was. Now, we've had several instances throughout the show's history of the Doctor referencing having some kind of hidden life that we hadn't seen on screen, and it seems like maybe some incarnations remember more than others. There are, of course, the infamous Morbius Doctors from the 4th Doctor's era. And from that episode, you would think it looks like the Doctor is aware of them. They flash up in front of him, for instance. So in that incarnation, at least, he appears to be aware that he has pre-Hartnell incarnations. That was certainly the implication that was implied and intended by the production team at the time. Then you've got the 7th Doctor, who talks about how, I think it was in a deleted scene, but still it was filmed, about how he talks about how he's more than just an ordinary Time Lord. And the 8th Doctor talking about,
I'm half human on my mother's side,
which is never referenced before or after, and seems to be contradictory to other things we know. So are all of these instances maybe partly things seeping through from that memory block? Stuff that he instinctively says some incarnations maybe have more access to these memories than others, and stuff that is seeping through the memory blocks only on specific incarnations maybe. And maybe we do see a little bit of that with Jodie Whittaker as well, because when in the Ghost Monument, those, I forget what they're called, the fabric creatures first mention the Timeless Child.
Further back, the Timeless Child.
There is a slight recognition on Jodie Whittaker's face, like she has heard the phrase before. And yes, she may not be able to place exactly what it means, but she knows it's significant, and she knows to question them about where they've heard that term. So maybe again, that's just like something just slightly sleeping through the blocks. Maybe it's just that word. And maybe the stuff with Anansi and the whole backstory of him and Abby is one of those things that has kind of seeped through. He doesn't instantly recognise her. She looks vaguely familiar to him. And as he thinks about it more, perhaps that does unlock a little bit more of the information. But in his mind, perhaps it's taking place to another incarnation, to the 1st Doctor or the 2nd Doctor. Maybe he can't even remember which incarnation. He doesn't like place it with a particular incarnation. He's like, this happened at some point. I can't remember what face I was wearing at the time, but I know it happened at some point. But he doesn't have the specific details and the memory of being the Fugitive Doctor doing it. The next instance we get of the 13th Doctor kind of remembering some stuff is the whole filter over the memories of what happened to the Timeless Child, where it's filtered through the lens of rural Ireland. The Brandon stuff. Now here, it's a different situation. It's not just it coming out. This is actually being transmitted to her from the Matrix by the Master. But if we do want a bit of explanation about how some more information got through, this does leave another avenue for it, because he transmitted that story specifically, but perhaps some other data got through as well, and maybe some bits of information about some of the adventures, some of the missions that the Doctor did for Division, little bits of information, partly redacted, also got through on a sort of subconscious level, and it's been there ever since. Now, Doctor Who Flux presents us with some more stuff we can think about in terms of what the Doctor might remember and why they might remember some more stuff, or not remember. Swarm at one point observes of the Doctor that she doesn't remember anything at all. But there are two instances which expose the Doctor to new memories from that locked point of her timeline that may be, again, similar to when the Doctor transmitted the Brandon stuff to her. Maybe there was some other stuff that got revealed at that time that we just didn't see. Some excess information, bits and pieces of information and data about all of the things that have happened to her that have kind of just resided in their subconscious ever since. The first of these is when the Morai send the Doctor into her own time stream, and she sees a mission that the Fugitive Doctor went on for Division to capture and stop Swarm and Azure the first time around. And then the second instance is where Azure opens the fob watch that contains all of the Doctor's hidden away memories in front of her. Now, normally that would be the exposing of the memories, but we do get a scene after that where the Doctor is in her head transported to this creepy place with this weird house, possibly the House of Longbarrow, who knows, and Swarm does say that her memories are within the house. So she hasn't got them all yet, is the implication. And the end of the season, where she deposits the stopwatch into the TARDIS and makes a decision not to open it, seems to back up the fact that she hasn't got the full force of all those memories. But maybe, again, she got some of them. So we have three instances where, over the course of the 13th Doctor's era, that she could have gotten some information through from various different sources. From the Matrix, via the Master sending the transmission. From the Morai putting her into her time stream. She obviously got that one particular story we saw, but maybe there were like little bits of information that also got through on a subconscious level. And again here when the fob watch was opened, maybe she got more than we saw. And some of that is just lurking there in the background of the Doctor's subconscious until he sees Abby in the barbershop, and that little spark sets it off for him to remember. I don't think he's opened the fob watch fully off screen. I don't think they would do that. I think they would show us that if they were going to go down that route. So I think there are explanations to how he has this information about an adventure and something that happened to the Fugitive Doctor. It's some information there in his subconscious for one of these reasons. But it could also have been there anyway. Like I said at the beginning, the Doctor did recognise the word, the Timeless Child, the phrase, the Timeless Child, even before any of these things happened. So there might have already been some stuff in the subconscious which could have been prompted by the sight of Abby. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Did it bug you at the time of watching it, and now you thought about it some more and heard my explanations? If it did bug you, does that alleviate it somewhat? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be back for a review of the next episode and more videos speculating on whatever happens next week. In the meantime, check out this video that YouTube thinks you might like by clicking on screen now. Goodbye.
Check it out.